Welcome to our most recent Uncommon Entrepreneurs video series. I'm here with Nick Scott from New York, good buddy that just moved down to Puerto Rico recently. Welcome, Nick. How's it going, my man?
What's up,
Things
man?
good?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, we're here today. We're going to talk about a little bit about his mindset, why he came down to Puerto Rico, his thoughts of entering the ecosystem and networking down here, and everything like that. My name is Drew Cutcomb, one of your hosts, and let's get into it, Nick. Welcome.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Just moved here 3 weeks ago from New York. It's been a beautiful experience so far. Just recently started my new startup, brought that down here, figured this would be the best place to, start this next chapter.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. It's Stealthist.
Stealthist, yes.
Nice. Tell us a little bit. What is Stealthist?
So Stealthist is essentially this platform that allows founders, like myself and a lot of clients that I've worked with over the past year or so to basically speed up, product development, getting to market, spending less money on dev resources. The idea is, can you build a web app in minutes instead of months?
I like it. That's clean. I've seen your work. I've seen some of the people you've had as clients. I guess we go back like a year or so, right? When you came down to Puerto Rico for an event.
Yep.
And since then we've kind of stayed in touch. But now that you're down here, it's obviously kind of enhancing. But
yeah.
So just give a little bit of recap. The last 18 months of kind of like what you've done. You've kind of changed from like kind of the marketing end of the business world to like the tech side, right? Kind of taught yourself to code at one point, right? Yeah. And just to kind of highlight some of the things, 'cause I think it's pretty impressive. You've built a marketing automation software and sold the IP, right?
Yep.
You had a product development lab that had like a six-figure gain, if that's correct, right? With Goldfinger and that was saying Lucci, right?
Yep.
And then you started Stealthist and got your first round of angel investment recently.
Yep.
So this is all in the last 18 months, and then now you're down here in Puerto Rico.
Pretty much.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Why Puerto Rico? How things going?
I mean, as I was saying, in New York, I did a lot of leveling up. New York was basically me kind of shutting myself away in the lab, just pounding away, leveling up.
Sure.
But now, it's time to like live and not just exist. I feel like all the work that I've done over the year has prepared me to get here, and now I have to work on being the best version of myself to basically hit this new maturity level that this business requires me to be as a founder.
Nice. No, it makes a lot of sense. And Puerto Rico could be a nice place for that because it's kind of a little bit more quiet, off the grid in some respects, and everything like that. Have you met some cool people down here?
Absolutely. I mean, that was one of the kind of driving factors in me coming down here was the social life that I was going to have here. In New York, it's pretty typical to kind of like lose your social life. Yeah. You get caught up in the hustle, and then also your other friends are also hustling, end up like moving away or doing different things. So it's common to lose your friends, go through different cycles, kind of like isolate yourself, especially during the winter. It's very hard to go out and be social. So that's why I made it a thing to move here right before a brutal New York winter, so that I didn't have...
Smart move.
Yes. I didn't want the excuse of not having a social life anymore, and it's already made a tremendous difference in just a couple weeks alone. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, as we are uncommon entrepreneurs, I definitely know that you are one from our interactions and everything like that, just your mindset and everything like that. I know you were at our event we had recently with the Puerto Rico Chamber of Commerce and everything like that, and you've been to another one before. How do you describe that atmosphere? Kind of what value are you getting out of the events?
I mean, it's just a whole new energy and atmosphere of the people there. Number one, I like the mix that it's not just crypto, it's not just technical people. It's a variety, and also, like I was saying to you, is that a lot of events that you go to, you can sense and feel that there's this kind of objective to selling you into something beyond that. Like events have become part of our sales funnel. And it's nice that your event that is the benefit that you're offering. It's the end of the funnel is this event, so you can just show up to these things, enjoy them. You don't kind of have that feeling inside that you are being sold to. You're literally just being sold a good time.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, work hard, play hard, right?
Yeah.
And but sometimes actually those types of settings are the best way to kind of casually get to know somebody, see if you vibe well, get together well before even business comes up right away, and you can grab coffee the next week.
Yeah.
And kind of take it from there. Cool. Have you met some good people from it that have kind of led to some interesting things?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just new focus down here was not necessarily making business moves, since I have enough of that going on, but it was for deep relationships, like-minded people. The funny thing is your event last night was the first one I went to where I must have saw more than like 10 people at a time that I was excited to see. A lot of times you go to an event and there's like some people you just show up to, but there's other people you want to dodge, and like that whole vibe is like I enjoyed seeing everybody.
Cool. Awesome. That's awesome. So maybe shifting a little bit, we had talked a little bit off camera about how you just raised around.
Yeah.
And how you're kind of doing stuff in an unconventional or uncommon way. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I mean, I've just kind of mistakenly fallen into this new blueprint that I'm following, that I'm just considering like being the anti-founder, which is looking at my track record over the past 18 months and observing all the milestones that I've hit. It was basically by doing uncommon things or breaking convention or just kind of being kind of rebellious in a sense, unintentionally.
Sure.
And it seems like that's where most of the results came.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I mean, in your entrepreneurial journey to this point, I know, like we all have had, is highs and lows and everything like that. But just maybe share a lesson or two that kind of comes to mind that you kind of took away from.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing was really just not forgetting to take care of yourself. And I think that's what Puerto Rico has allowed me to do, is just, if I was back in New York doing the same things that I did here, I'd be paying 3 times as much, which would probably discourage me from doing that to begin with. But here, I'm regularly going to the gym, I've got a personal trainer, I'm boxing, going paddleboarding, going on hikes. You can't do that in the winter in New York. But what I feel, the endorphin rush that I'm getting just really allows me to just like show up in business and crush it in ways that didn't really feel possible before.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean, there's so many topics we could cover. I mean, you just when we go into depth with some of like the innovation and side of things and where things are going. I don't know if you want to kind of talk about some lessons that you're learning to stay kind of ahead of the curve, or what you're helping companies at the moment to have maybe to take a good product and make it better or whatnot.
Well, the funny thing is every entrepreneur, typically, regardless of the business they're in, whether it's like service-based or it's a startup, or even if you're established enterprise, like you hit this point where there's a potential for you to plateau. And most of the time you will, because you don't really realize that in order to get to that next step beyond that plateau, that you have to go inside of yourself and do a lot of work. And what I see the difference in a lot of successful clients that we work with is that the focus of what they're doing, even at 7-8 figures and beyond, is actually less about business and more about themselves.
Mindset.
Yes.
Elaborate on that.
So, I mean, I can think of pretty much 9 out of 10 people that I speak to in Puerto Rico, obviously successful people at different points in their life. They're all doing some form of therapy, personal development, exploring cutting edge ways, like taking, ayahuasca retreats and things like that. All these things about, like I said, just going into yourself, confronting old traumas, getting rid of that stuff that is basically keeping you from succeeding or, breaking past that plateau, or even worse, you know, a lot of us are guilty of self-sabotage, and that's what doesn't allow you to make it to, you know, 7-8 figures and beyond. And to avoid that, you do have to tackle that stuff. So the people that I'm seeing in real time just absolutely crushing it, becoming successful, are people who are learning to get out of their own way and take care of, you know, decades worth of things they've been carrying around with them.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I can definitely relate, and it seems to be more of a mindset thing, for sure. Well, good. I'm glad we had a chance to kind of connect and get yourself out there doing some pretty cool things. How could somebody find you? How do they get a hold of you?
I mean, right now, you got to slide into the DMs on IG. It's Stealth Mode Nick. As the name implies, stealthist. I have been in stealth mode. We have no website live right now, so it's best to reach out to me directly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, man.
Yeah.
Catch soon, for sure.